The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. Welcome to the Nikki Glaser Podcast, Season 2. If you're just joining us as a new listener, welcome aboard. If you are an old bestie, thank you so much. I'm here with Andrew, my former roommate, now my building mate. Noah is our producer. She is in Arizona. We do this show out of St. Louis in my apartment, and it's a joy. And we are so appreciative of all of our listeners. And a couple things. I saw a couple besties this weekend. I just want to say that I was walking in downtown Chicago with my parents after dinner on Saturday night, and all I hear out of a car is, "Bestie!" And I turn around, and it was a bestie waving out the window, which if you ever see me with my parents, please come up and talk to me, because the reason I do this is so that my parents can think that I'm cool and love. Like, it's all because you want your parents.
What kind of car was it? Was it car?
You know I'm car blind.
Oh yeah, you are car blind.
I don't know. It was not. They didn't
What
peel
color was
off.
it?
I just go, "Don't be car," and then they peeled off.
Yeah, they peeled
and
off.
listening to "Come my lady, come my lady," and like bumping the bass.
Can I be honest?
And then I also had another
Go ahead,
bestie encounter. I was at Starbucks around the block from our apartment, the one I go to like every day. I was with my parents on Friday, and a girl and her boyfriend, who was either mute or just didn't care to talk, ran over and was like, it didn't run over, but she was like, "Hi, I'm sorry. Besties are so sweet. They're always," and by the way, we call our fans besties because it's like so lame that it's funny. And it also is like, you guys are our best friends because we talk like we do to our best friends on here. Like, I don't even like people who aren't, like, I don't like my family to listen to this because it feels like a chat with my best friends, and you wouldn't talk the same way to your girlfriends as you would your family, even though my mom does listen, so I gotta watch myself. But a bestie came up and said hi, and she was like, "I was driving past, and she was visiting from a different part of St. Louis." And she was like, and I said to my boyfriend or husband or whoever it was, he didn't talk, but he was so cute, just like a shopping husband, like holding her purse, just like, "Oh, she gotta go talk to Nikki Glaser." And she was like, and I've heard this a lot. They go, "I saw Starbucks, and I was also like, what if I saw Nikki Glaser?" Like, when people driving around St. Louis, they say that. We've heard that before with fans being like, "What if we saw Nikki and Andrew?" And then there they are.
Yeah.
And so it was really cute, and I loved, please come up to me whenever, parents or not. I loved it. It was so fun.
I did feel like the one in St. Louis was like, beautiful or not, but it felt like she was so cute and adorable that she could have stalked us.
Oh, you mean the one that stopped us it's going to be on, I believe it's going to be on Welcome Home, Nikki Glaser, which is coming out May 1st. I really am dependent on all of you besties watching the premiere on May 1st on E. I know that's like, I don't even know how to get E. How do I figure it out? Go to your friend's house, tweet about it, do whatever you can, because, cable is kind of, struggling, and it's really important to like they're going to decide whether or not we get a second season based on how the first few episodes perform. And I just want to say, like, if you get the word out and watch that premiere episode, it's going to be 2 episodes back to back, actually, episode 1 and 2, which I haven't even seen 2, dying to, of Welcome Home, Nikki Glaser, ? On May 1st, Sunday, May 1st. I would really, really appreciate it. And we're going to talk about it a lot coming up, but that girl appeared on the show, and she was so sweet.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
It seemed like a plant, because she was like crying and shaking and adorable.
Yeah, it was, she could have stabbed one of us, and we're like.
She could have slapped the shit out of me.
Smith it up.
Let's talk
Chalk
about
it up.
Now, I want to just ask, how did we all come to find out about what happened? Were you watching it live? What was going on? I want to say that I had given up on the Oscars. I realized I only watch the Oscars for the comedy. I want to see, I don't really care about, and the speeches of someone giving a crazy speech, but really it's about, especially this time, watching Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes. But Wanda, they kind of gave this weird, like, did you see that bit?
Oh,
they gave her
Sykes
like
bit you didn't like? I didn't like the.
Oh, well, I didn't like the Regina, but she's not a comedian.
I know.
What is her last name? Hall? Regina Hall? I don't want to fuck it up. It's not Regina George.
In fairness, she didn't even say her own name. I don't think.
Yeah, so Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes hosted, and I was obviously very excited to see Amy host because she's just the fucking funniest, and I knew she was going to kind of Gervais it and like really go all out. And she did. She killed. She had so many great lines. I really loved, even though that joke has been made a million times about Leo having young girlfriends, I loved just such a funny joke that he's leaving the world a better place, fighting climate change for his girlfriends.
Yeah.
And then also there was a movie made about the Williams sisters' dad.
Yeah,
that was great. She had so many.
I like a joke, even if it is said a lot on that big of a stage, because that's Leo's land. Like the Oscars, that's Leo's world. You don't come into Leo's world and take down Leo.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah. And I wondered if he was even there, because I think he was. I mean, his movie was up, but I don't think he was up for Best Actor.
I think he was driving around a movie theater in his car trying to pick up women.
I think according to Just Jared, like the gossip sites, I think he just went to the after party.
Okay, that makes sense. Any mention is good, so he can roll his eyes all he wants at that, and celebrities can go, I don't want to be the butt of jokes. But bad press is good press. If someone's joking about you, it's good. When I would go to the roast and a comic would get up there or a celebrity would get up there and just totally skip me, it was a terrible feeling, as opposed to just saying something awful about me. Having Alec Baldwin say, Nikki Glaser's here, I don't even know what a Nikki Glaser is. Like, that's so, even though it's acknowledging that I'm a nobody, it's great to have him say my name.
Yeah.
So I just want to say before we get started on the Chris Rock stuff that I tuned in for Amy. She fucking killed it. And then Wanda Sykes, they gave some kind of like bit where she was going through a museum, and it was really just not great. And obviously Wanda is one of the funniest people ever. So it was just like a missed opportunity with her. But then Regina Hall had a bit where she came out and they set it up in the beginning where Amy was like, I'm something, like, I forget what they were saying. I'm excited to be here. Wanda was like, I'm surprised that I got asked. And Regina is like, and I'm single. So they set it up, she's single, which I thought the joke was weird. And then I saw, this is paying off later. We're setting her up as single. She's looking for a guy. And then she says, not everyone got COVID tested. We need to do some swabbing backstage. And she calls up all like the single handsome actors. And she even made a joke about Will Smith at that point, being like, what's the deal with you guys? I thought that was hilarious to even reference his open marriage, which we all know about, but no one really talks about. And then, but I just thought that whole bit was just, I was shocked that anyone let that happen. You know, when like a celebrity does blackface and you go, how did someone not stop you from doing this?
How many layers did that go through?
How did did this pass through every, and I'm not comparing the two. Stop with the things of like, you think blackface is the same as Regina Hall doing? Like, no, I'm just saying.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah. That'd be so hilarious if I was like, I think they're exactly the same.
They're exactly the same. What do you
9/11 and Chris Rock getting punched in the face is the same. I don't know why anyone would argue that it's just totally not. So.
Well, if he got hit twice.
Did you see the bit? Did you see the Regina Hall bit? Yeah, you did.
That's when I stopped watching the Oscar.
Yeah, it made me so uncomfortable. I watched it through my fingers. After I realized what the premise was, and I was just like, ugh. And then saying that she was going to swab them with her tongue, saying that she made a joke about one guy. I know you're legal. Yeah, the Euphoria joke. He wasn't even there. Jacob Elordi. He was backstage. He was about to give a award. Okay. And then also the part about them getting naked, her filming some stuff with them, filming them against like their will. Like it was all like a trick. It was like that porn you watch, or I watch mostly, where it's like doctors like take advantage of these unknowing women. I mean, I watch stuff that's scripted, and obviously this was scripted, but then she felt up the people walking out, the two, I forget, it was probably like Jason Momoa and someone else. After she said, okay, here they're I didn't even get to that part. I turned it off. They come out. I know, wasn't it so uncomfortable? That's how like weird it was. And the guys couldn't talk, so they're just standing there. They were so awkward. It was so awkward. And they were laughing, but it was like so weird. And then the audience shots, people were like, what is going on? Like, I thought I was going to go on Twitter and see everyone being like, that was terrible. Everyone loved it so much. And it's because, I'm sorry, if Amy would have done that bit, she would have been pilloried for it. Like it would have been like, that's so cringe. Why is she like, we get it. You're single. It's gross. She's sexual. Like, but for some reason it was adorable when Regina did. I just don't understand why it was celebrated. Even Jesse Fox, who is a guy who does a podcast called Good One. He is a writer for he does a podcast called The Good One. He's like pretty much a comedy connoisseur writer, and he's very well respected. He has great taste in comedy. I love reading his stuff. I've done a lot of like, interviews with him, and he wrote like, that was just amazing. And I just go, what am I missing? And he said to do a bit that's awkward and to have that much, like, he had a good point. She did a good performance. The bit was stupid though. And I just want to say that I couldn't get past the double standard of like, if a man was doing this, how gross this would be to say he's going to swab these young girls that he just checked if they're legal with his tongue.
Yeah, the fetish.
And I hate this double standard thing. Yeah. I hate that argument. And I just want to say, it's not that I'm saying Regina Hall shouldn't have been able to make that joke. I'm just saying that a guy should be able to make that joke too, because it is comedy and it's just a joke. So I'm not saying I'm offended. I am offended because I can't believe that men aren't allowed to do that if women are allowed to make those jokes. We need to be, and I understand that men are stronger and like have an advantage, but so many men have been victimized by women, both in, sexual harassment, touching men inappropriately, especially comics who women after at meet and greets, all my male comic friends get felt up all the time by women. And of course they're stronger than women. And so they can push them off. It's a different kind of vibe than women with men, annoying them. But I do know that it's less acceptable to complain about. So these guys have to stay with the secret, and they have to, young boys that get preyed upon by their school teachers, they get like, oh, he died of high-fiving everyone. That was Zach Galifianakis' joke. Did you hear about the kid who slept with his teacher? He died of high-fiving too hard. And so it's like a lot of guys, it's the same as the penis thing of like, small penises get made fun of and we all let it slide because no one who's having their small penis made fun of is going to go, hey, I have a small penis. And we all laugh and joke about male sexual harassment towards males by women because, they can fend it off. But any guy that was like, hey, I was actually raped by a woman, I don't like that. No guy's going to say that, first of all, because it's just, uncomfortable to admit that thing, and they shouldn't have to. But do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean,
stay quiet, and so we keep doing it.
If you get harassed as a teenager and if you have a big dick, it's fine, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and that was my point. So let's move on to the thing everyone's talking about. I was in bed because I had already given up, right?
I gave up.
I'm on Reddit. I'm looking at, videos of warts being scraped down. And I get a text from Chris, my boyfriend, and Jen, my assistant, and one other person that just said, I just want to read the text that I got from Chris.
I read on Twitter something like, was that real? Was that punch real? And then I go, what the fuck happened?
Wait, I
That's all I read. I
texted you guys that.
Yes.
Oh, and then you texted that right after I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, what was real?
Okay, so I got what WTF just happened with Will Smith. Chris sent me a bunch of voice memos. He goes, turn it on now. I know that because I already told him, I'm like, I'm in bed. I gave up. And he goes, get out of bed. It's worth it. And he goes, go to Twitter and tweet. It looks like Chris Rock is going to have to move in with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. Just tweet it. Just trust me. And because I have a bigger audience, and I was like, okay, this is the ultimate trust. And so I tweeted it. Everyone ended up making that joke, but I was one of the first because Chris told me to do it. And then I was like, okay. And I climb out of bed and I turn back on the TV and I go back and watch it. And everyone was saying punch. Someone on Twitter did say, why did that slap sound like a punch? Because it was more than a slap.
I mean, he lifted. It was like a pimp slap. It showed that he spent time as Muhammad Ali. That's what it showed me.
Right.
It showed me that he is a method actor and he has not forgot how to throw a right hand. He hit him in a way that like, it was almost more demoralizing to get slapped. It's almost when like someone spits on you.
There's the word bitch in front of slap where there isn't a bitch punch.
Dude, when he walked up and Chris Rock was still laughing.
You see Chris see him. That was an interesting part to me where you go from thinking things are fine to like, oh God, to getting defensive. Noah, why did you think it was fake? Or did you?
A lot of people still think it's fake for some reason.
It's insane.
So I just like watched it in slow motion on Twitter, and Chris Rock's legs barely moved. It was only his upper body that went off to the side.
the stills of it are insane.
Yes, but when I kept watching it slowly, it did look like maybe like spit came out of Chris Rock's mouth. So I was like, okay, well that is real, and his cheek kind of rippled.
Yes,
his demeanor changed a lot.
So you thought it was fake because he didn't. It was such a hard slap that you would think it would land him on his ass almost, or at least he'd step back.
Yeah, it would definitely rock him off the position that he was in, and he kind of stayed stationary.
You know, Hollywood makes some bad choices where you go, how did anyone think this was going to be funny? That to me though, it didn't seem fit. There was no way I could make it into it was fake. And also the muting of the TV after it happened, which I get it. You saw it on Twitter, so you thought it might have been a stunt. The muting afterwards. And then when you saw what he really said, get my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Yeah,
keep my wife's name out of my fucking mouth. It was absolutely not fake. And yeah.
It would be funny if Logan Paul was behind all this for the slap championships that you almost hosted.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah.
Maybe
I
that's
never
what
followed up on that. Fuck.
They asked me already happened.
It did?
Yeah.
Hilarious. Who hosted
it? It was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Logan Paul. And then
it could have been Nikki Glaser, but I never wrote Davidge back. Davidge from F-Boy Island is Logan Paul's manager, and he wrote me. He was like, I think you would be great at this. Davidge, don't forget me for other things, but it
might be bigger than ever now.
Sometimes I forget huge things.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. When I get asked to do things, I have to say that I did. I met Francis Ford Coppola on Thursday, and held his hand, talked to him for about 30 minutes, auditioned with him for another 30 minutes. He signed a wine bottle for my parents to EJ and Julie. He signed a book for me. I spent so much time with him on Thursday. I forgot about that. It was funny because after the slap, he was one of the next presenters or doing the Godfather thing. He's up on stage and I was just like, oh my God, I just was with that person. But I was just going through Twitter. I forgot. And then the weirdest thing that I just want to say before we're going to get into the Chris Rock thing in top one, bottom one in our segment. Do you ever have this? It's the first time it's happened to me where something is so exciting, you black out and you forget that it happened. And it's almost like in a dream. You know, when you wake up from a dream where you're hooking up with your dream person, or you have your dream job, or you went flying, and it just was so good that you have to forget it because it's just too sad that it didn't happen.
But I think for you, 2 days later, you were singing with Wilco, your favorite band. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I was with Wilco
I think
over the
if
weekend.
you didn't have Wilco,
but it's not this.
You might still have Coppola in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yes. So too many things are happening. But when I was on Perfect Strangers
Boys Island.
When I was on Perfect Strangers 2, I got asked to do carpool karaoke with a band that I was not into because I'm friends with one of the producers that works there, and she was like, any chance you're a huge blah 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 fan? And I said, I don't like blah blah blah, but I'm sure you can find someone. I would love to do that show though. I'm a fan of. And then I said, I gave her 3 choices, and I thought no chance for any of these people. And then she comes back with Wilco, said yes immediately, and I called my parents right away. We were on the way to the set to Perfect Strangers. I called my parents on speaker because they got me into Wilco, and I told them about it. And then I went to set, and I didn't talk about it or think about it after that because it was too much excitement of this is the biggest thing that's ever happened to me in terms of getting to hang out with someone who has impacted my life in such a profound way that I couldn't handle it. And I talked to Chris Convey, my boyfriend, is a huge Wilco fan as well. Huge. And one of the reasons why we got along so well and why I was attracted to him in the beginning. And I didn't tell him for it was 3 days until I remembered. 3 days later, I remembered.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anyone. It was wild because it was too much. And if I was to stay in that, I wouldn't be present for Perfect Strangers. I couldn't have gotten on with my day because it would just have freaked me out too much. And after the weekend I had with Wilco, which I'm going to talk about either more today or tomorrow.
After Columbine?
Yeah, well, we're going to get to Columbine. Okay. We're going to get through all of that.
We hit that.
But I want to talk about my Wilco experience because I want to honor it, and I don't want to move on to the next big thing, which I'm going to shoot tonight. I'm going to New York because I'm shooting Beat Bobby Flay, that show. And that's another really fun thing that could easily just make me forget about the thing that just happened. So I don't want to forget it. And it was truly the the best thing that could have happened with the Wilco weekend. And we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about Chris Rock. We're going to go to break, and we'll come back with the news. Andrew!
Coming in now.
All right. We're back. Let's get to the news.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Oh, man. It's Monday, folks. You know what that means. It is Monday. I hope you're having all the swells. I'm sure Chris Rock has one on his face right now. Hey, now, I didn't write that. That was completely improv. Where was it? No one knows.
Oh, no,
Hello.
that was good.
Okay. Take it to you. Noah.
All right. First story is, did you know that there are parents in Thailand who are trying to use science and technology to bring their daughter back to life?
Okay. Just heard that physicists determined that information might be a sixth sense, or no, a matter. It might be a new form of matter, that information is now could be qualified as matter, which is not something that was. So, okay, things are happening. Tyler Henry is talking to dead people on Netflix. Tell me about this.
Okay, so the 2-year-old girl nicknamed Ines is the youngest person to be cryogenically frozen, preserving her brain moments after death in the hope that she would one day be brought back to life.
I mean, science will get there.
Let it go. Let it go.
I know.
You're frozen now.
I shot a thing with Marion and Luigi 2 weeks ago, and I was talking about my desire to have Marion taxidermied next week. She's not gonna die next week, but like I just want to have her put down because I think I just want to get it as soon as possible. You know?
I get that.
But when she does die, no, I want to have her taxidermied, and my dad is refusing.
She looks more dead now, anyways.
I know. She already looks at. Is it weird to take these measures
too early?
I mean, that is a way for me to keep her alive to me because when the physical part of her is still there. Noah, what do you think?
As long as she gives you information.
Taxidermy, not so much, but like this whole process, I got into it a little bit and read more about it. And basically, they extracted her brain, and they're keeping her brain, like they filled it with all these fluids, and they're keeping it at a temperature that's negative 196 degrees Celsius. And they're just preserving it in this like special center.
Yeah.
In the hopes
like
that
this is like
one day.
Way for Joe Rogan to like recover from a
It's like Futurama.
workout. Yeah.
Exactly that. It's Futurama. They're basically just like keeping her brain in like a jar.
So what do they want to do with the brain? They're
waiting for technology to catch up, and then they're gonna right?
My question was though, like if technology, let's say it happens like 200 years from now, does that mean that this lab has to be open that long?
Yeah.
I mean, the lease is
what if they have to close
expensive.
down? What do they do with the bodies?
I'm guessing that they're just going to have, if it closes down, it's like it goes in a landfill.
Put it in a Yeti.
But put it in a Yeti.
Throw it in a Yeti.
I feel like you would have to leave money so that it but did you see Don't Look Up at the end? They all return to Earth after they were frozen and sent to space. Earth blows up. They're frozen for thousands of years. They come back when the Earth has kind of regrown, and they land, and they're instantly like eaten by dinosaurs.
The best.
This girl would wake up. Let's say her brain is regenerated.
All her parents are dead,
and then everyone's dead. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it really is. Death is really hard, and that's why I love that book that I just read, that I keep talking about, by Kerry Egan, Kerregan. I forget the name. I think it's On Living, I think is what it's called, and it just talks about death, and it really it was a beautiful take on death that I've been thinking about a lot recently. Let's get to the next news story.
Okay.
Put it on ice.
A singer was hospitalized because she was not on farting terms with her partner.
Okay, so she was so stopped up. Yeah, I had a joke about this in my on my half hour that I did with Netflix about how when Chris and I broke up, he left. I remember we broke up, and it was like that moment where it was really done and the door shut, and I farted for 900 years. Like it was also about like that sound that sometimes I will hold in a fart around people that I don't want to fart in front of, and your stomach will make that sound, like the fart will get sucked back up, and it's like
Yeah.
It'll make a sound of like you're hungry.
Your stomach's eating your own fart. It sounds like.
But it sounds like it's growling.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
And we used to do that, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm so hungry," and Chris is like, "You just ate a bunch of beans. Like, why would?" That's obviously not what it is. It's so a sucked up fart. But yeah, it's very painful to hold in farts, and I think a lot of times my aggression. When Chris and I used to live together, I was so fucked up with my food and eating just such weird, artificial sweeteners that just make you a bloated, like Jigglypuff. Like I was just a balloon. I was like Macy's Day Parade, hot stomach, always gassy. I was miserable because I was holding it in and I couldn't let it out.
What do you think that's why people buy bigger homes? Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, is that a reason for like an extra bathroom?
Chris and I will, if we ever move in together, we will get at least 2 bathrooms because we like to do that kind of stuff separate. And farting terms with your boyfriend. Noah, are you on farting terms with Avi? And if you are, what is it? Just like whenever, or do you have to warn each other?
We are not on farting terms. And it's because I learned my lesson from a previous relationship where there was like no boundaries with that. Like we would literally like shit in front of each other.
Yeah.
And I think it just like takes away not the sexiness, but it kind of blurs the line between like a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, or lover and buddies. Exactly.
And if you do fart with your
it's fine.
Mate, I don't want to hear a message from you being like, no, we have great sex. I understand that this is not, there's exceptions to this rule, but for me, I do think that it takes it into friend territory. And I used to kind of get a little bit upset that Chris was so anti-bathroom stuff because I pee with the door open. Like I'll pee with the door open with you. I respect that you have a girlfriend. Also, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to like leave it open. But generally like with my friends, I will just do, and Chris is not my friend. He is my friend, but I want there to be a difference. I want to it's a level of respect. I wouldn't do that in front of someone it's about respect, I think. What about you and Brenna?
We fart in front of each other. I fart more for sure.
Yeah.
I get that. I definitely get the idea.
Does she warn you before she does it? Will she go like, I have to fart, and then you'll laugh? Or will she just do it at this point?
At one point we were there, and now it's just, I sometimes get woken up and try to hit
that's
snooze
different. At
and
night
it's her
is
asshole.
different. At night is different because you can't control it.
No, I'm saying in the morning I'll wake up to they're still cute.
They're still so cute.
Yeah, they're so cute. But no, like I think the level for me is shitting in front of each other. I think that's kind of where, and I know farting is just an appetizer for shitting in front of someone.
It's an amuse-bouche.
You want the mozzarella stick?
That is true. When someone farts, you're like, there's a lot of shit in there. Like, that's just, sometimes you smell a fart and you're like, you need to go take, like, that's a bunch of shit is in your body.
But her farts, honestly, and I'm not just being like, she's so cute, but they don't smell.
Yeah.
And I think if
the
like.
smell is definitely
the smell
a factor.
is the one that ends up affecting it. But I do think like shitting should. Let's keep that, unless you're into that, like, a guitar player we know.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's certain people out there that love shitting and scat play in bed. I do want to say though that like we can't. It's the biggest blind item ever that we know this about a certain someone. But I do want to say that I think the comfort level, like I was always I'm just so happy with my relationship right now. I just want to say that because always felt like there was a part of me like holding myself back because especially like I equated like not being able to fart in front of him with a lot of other things. And now I can see the difference between not being able to fart in front of someone and also being able to really tell them anything, talk to them about anything, have them be able to handle like me looking any certain way. Like I just, it's so funny to have been with someone for off and on for 8 years and to have it feel at this point like a completely new relationship. Like I have a boyfriend. I'm so excited about it. And people that in my life are like, we've been hearing about this guy forever. Like it's
no, I can see how it could
totally
be new.
Feels like a new person
for sure.
But with all of the great history that we do have. I'm just really happy, and I know that besties like to hear when I'm happy, but I'm just like so happy. You gotta
think about it, like, yeah, you guys broke up 48 times, got back, all that shit, but like people that are couples,
people change.
Yeah, people are in relationships and it changes, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you're still together, they're like, oh, this feels like we have a new lease.
I know.
on
Whenever
our
someone
love.
says, I did this on my in my act, when people are like, we've been together for 50 years, and it's just like, oh, I feel like that's not a good thing.
No,
Because
but
you
my
definitely
point being,
hated
like,
each other during some of that.
Yeah.
Like we just honored that we weren't getting, and I reserve the right for us to break up again. Like this isn't just, but right now I just feel like when people say men don't change, people don't, it's not that we both have changed, and like we just, you know what, people don't change, but people educate themselves, and they absorb more information, and they have a willingness to admit that maybe the way they're doing things isn't right. People
is that changing though? Wait, what do you mean by people don't change though?
No,
like the idea
he
of,
still is who he is in the way he always is, but what he has and what I have had is a willingness to say, I might not be right. I'm just gonna see if this other way of doing things works, and I can always go back to my way, but maybe this other person who I think is 100% wrong might be right. And we need more of that, including with the Chris Rock thing. Like, I want to consider that Will Smith was right. I want to actually try that on for size, put that on, see how it fits, and like maybe open my mind to the thing that I know is wrong. And I think that's why Chris and I have been able to reach this place, is to go, maybe I'm wrong.
This is all about farting.
Yeah, it's all comes down. But no, we still
I just
don't
love
do that.
like this epiphany, and it's just it's like I don't know.
He does though hate fragrance, and I just want to say I'm obsessed with this new fragrance that I got a sample of from Sephora when I ordered a bunch of stuff. It's called Clean. I think I found my fragrance, by the way. A lot of besties sent me ideas, and I just couldn't. It's called Clean Reserve, and it's by Aqua Nero. No, I don't know, but it's called Clean Reserve. Aqua, AQUANEROLI. Andrew, I want you to do a spurt of it, just one spray, because I have a little vial of it, and see what you think for a feminine scent. That
was a lot. It's nice.
It's soft, right? That's not too much.
That's what I like. I accidentally sprayed a decent amount, enough to get me broken up with. But who the fuck is this? And I swear to God,
I feel like it's not even like a female. It's like just a nice.
My favorite spray is a spray it's like a haircut that you don't even know it happens. Does that make sense?
Is this count as that?
Yeah, that counts as that.
It's
on the tip of being too fragrancy for me.
Yes, because you just sprayed it and you're spilling directly on your wrist. But if you were around a girl that was just wafting that from her body.
But I don't like it. Yeah, an overspray. It could be a lot.
If there are any fragrance heads out there, if you tell me what you think of, I want to know what other people think of it, because I might be wrong. So and I only have one guy. It's called Clean. Clean Reserve is what is on the bottle.
I like it.
Noah, do we have another news item, or do we want to move on to Seggies?
No, let's do this last news item, because I think you really want to know this. After 35 years, Starbucks made a bittersweet announcement.
They're raising their prices every month for the rest of time.
No, they're doing away with their iconic white paper cup with its green logo of a two-tailed mermaid.
What are they going to do next? That is
Changing it to the Washington Redskins. What are they changing?
Yeah, that mermaid has two tails. It's like cut in half.
She looks like you. I think she could be a nominee.
Okay.
All right, so they're making changes in an effort to eliminate the billions of the white paper cups that end up in landfills around the world every year. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to eliminate. Hold on. Okay,
they're not recyclable, by the way. That is the worst part about those cups.
Why would they not make recyclable?
Because the inside needs to be plastic for the heat.
Oh.
I mean, obviously there's a way to do it that they could recycle it, but it would cost money.
Recycle.
My drink has gone from $5.40 to $7.89 within 2 years. Every day. $7.84. Noah, keep going.
But
Sorry.
a kid gets a pair of Toms. This is what's annoying about this to me, is they're claiming that it's an environmental thing. They're going to save so much money by not making I'm just
what
guessing.
Are they going to do?
But at the same token, the price that they're paying is people are not walking around with their, that
with
cup
a little billboard
and the logo, exactly. So they are
also
losing a lot of marketing.
That logo might be contributing. The fact that they see that logo so much in landfills and on streets, and like sometimes you see trash and it becomes like the face of trash, you know, and Starbucks cups are so the face of trash at this point.
If there's a trashy woman out there, it's a mermaid.
They're the face of the backseat of my car. I'll tell you that. Okay.
Wait. Can we go back?
What are they going to do?
So what are they doing instead of these cups?
All right. So right now there's a pilot program called Borrow a Cup. And the idea is that Starbucks will put your cup in a reusable cup that you take with you and then you bring back to be professionally cleaned and used again.
They already tried this. It's not going to happen.
What?
This is all marketing. No one really cares about the environment. No one really cares. And I don't want to say no one, but companies as big as this don't care. They care about money, and it's greenwashing. That's what it's called when a company pretends to care about the environment. Yes. It is a marketing ploy to go, oh, this is a good thing I'm going to buy this because it's going to
So what do they do? So you bring a cup in.
And they're going to wash it for you. It doesn't make any sense.
Can you imagine asking if I was a fucking worker there?
Well, they're going to have a certain, probably a station where they put all these cups on and they just have to press a button or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then how are you going to do venti, grande, depending on your cup?
It's wild, and I can't wait to see them roll it out and roll it back.
I mean, this is, yeah, I'm going to be like.
Starbucks, I recently read a thing on Reddit that said, a Starbucks employee wrote, seriously, why do you like Starbucks so much? An employee wrote that and was like, what is it? And I saved it. Maybe I'll do it on Reddit dump tomorrow because it really made me go, why? And I'm looking at it as I have an addiction to Starbucks, to caffeine, but to Starbucks, I have an absolute addiction. Yeah. It's a problem. And part of it is the green logo, the way the cup feels in my hand, the way the door feels when I swing it open, the way the music is blaring.
It makes you feel at home a little bit.
When I make a coffee at my apartment with steamed milk, I have a steamer now because Robin sent me one. I have sugar-free vanilla stevia that I can put in. It doesn't taste the same. I don't know what it is. And
well, I think there's a lot of things. One, we like to pay for things because then it tastes better. I love paying for
things. What is that?
I don't know what it is, but God, do we feel good when we pay too much for an item?
I love spending money. It gives me some, especially on other people. I like paying full price for something when it's during the pandemic when my apartment that I was paying, and if you haven't heard this number before, I'm not trying to brag. I got an apartment for $7,500 a month because I was balling. It was double what I had ever paid in my life for an apartment. And I never lived in it. And I had to pay $7,500 a month for 11 months. I got out of it in the last month. For 11 months, I spent that, and I never stepped foot in that apartment. Many people are saying, don't pay it. Just fight this. There's probably a way to finagle out of this. And I felt good that I signed a lease and said, I'm going to do this. And I stood by my word. And I was telling Chris that the other day, and he was like, it was probably like a fucking hedge fund that owns your building. You're just giving money to these criminals. It's not like if it was a guy named Noam who owns the building.
It's one building. Yes.
But it's not that. It's this is
it was Noam, and you're a piece of shit. Yeah.
This is Sterling Holdings. LLC.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? This is not.
It's a shell of a company that actually kills babies.
But there is something I like about. When I say I'm going to pay something, I'm going to pay it.
Yeah, for sure. I think, though, with Starbucks, one, the efficiency. It's like if you had a drug dealer, right? Because coffee is a drug.
Yeah.
And you call your drug dealer, and he's like, dude, I'll get back to you 2 days from now.
Oh, you wouldn't keep that drug dealer?
You wouldn't keep that drug dealer. Or would you rather the drug dealer that you spend twice as much?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, you're outside already? How did you even know I was ordering?
Yep.
And that's what it is. That's all it is.
And they
it's
greet
efficiency.
You with a smile. And
yeah, there's some nice people.
You're right.
Starbucks that we go to, there's a couple of people that work there that are the nicest fucking workers I've ever.
I'm on the Starbucks Reddit, and Starbucks is big about their partners, is what they call them. They don't call them employees. Their partners having interactions, looking people in the eye, and I say fuck that. So I witnessed so much rude behavior. You fucking do you. But I will say that Starbucks employees are better at ignoring waiting little harping customers, little Karens circling around the bar. They're better at acting like you're not there than, Delta employees. Those are the two that are so good at having a conversation with the person they're dealing with or working on, and they have no periphery. They have horse blinders on. They're great at it,
I think
as they should be. We got to go to break.
Yeah, it's just the double line. It's the out orders and the people in store. as a worker.
The mobile orders is,
oh God, it's
any Starbucks employees out there, I want to have one on as a guest.
Oh,
really, if you worked at Starbucks for a lot of time and you have a lot of thoughts about it, please send us a DM and we might feature you on the show. That is one thing I really want. We got to go to break. Are we going to come back with, we'll come back with Why Do I Care? After this. All right. Why do I care? Why do I care?
All right. So I'm going to skip the whole slap and I'm going to go to Bob Saget was confusingly left out of the In Memoriam segment.
No way.
At the Oscars on Sunday.
No way.
Talk about a slap in the face.
Oh my God. Or hit in the head. Holy shit. I did not know that. You know what? That's
egregious.
That is insane.
Was it because he was never in a movie? Was he not in a movie?
No, he was in a ton of movies, and he was all, let's talk about Half Baked. One of the best cameos ever.
Yeah, you ever sucked dick
He was an Oscar winner, apparently. Scoring a Student Academy Award in 1977 for his black and white documentary Through Adam's Eyes.
Okay, that is really, they better get him next time.
Are you allowed to throw in the next year?
They should. That is, they owe an apology. That is insane.
I mean, did the freaking Oscars get a concussion?
Man, I got really upset about Bob Saget all over again the other day. Reports keep coming out about what could have happened to him, and the coroner said it's probably not something that happened in the bathroom because there are so many, if he hit his head on hard surfaces, there would have been blood. There would have been broken skin because of how badly he was hit. And there was a picture of the bed where they found him after they had taken him off the bed that has his imprint in it. It has all of his, has his, AirPods. It has his phone. It has all of his things on the side table, which really did make me go, okay, I need to start having a more organized room just in case I don't wake up and it ends up on Daily Mail. Because it was such a cute little assortment. You could just tell he was ready for bed. You can see the part on the pillow where his head was, but the headboard was padded. And perhaps people think that he hit something very hard padded and didn't think of how damaging that could have been because it was padded. But also the front of his head was hurt too. So I'm very confused by all of it, and
there's another death. Did you see that the drummer for Foo Fighters?
Oh yeah, I mean that was
for some reason that
terrible.
Dude, even though I can't really name
what
more
a cutie.
than 3, he had energy to him.
Yes,
this Taylor Hawkins guy,
smiling, 50 years old.
Dude, I don't know why I got so fucking sad from him dying, dude. Because I don't know. It's someone.
No, I saw a lot of people that didn't really know him got sad.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird death of me being like, I don't know why, but that guy seemed so fucking genuine and so positive. And then
did you write a song about it?
I did.
I can mock you for?
Yeah, I wrote this song. Do you want to hear the lyrics? Yeah. Taylor, why the fuck did you have to do 10 different substances at once, but you're still fucking rock and roll?
Do you ever die? They're gonna find 10 different sauces in your body.
Dude, I went to, it's so funny you say that. I went to High Point. Have you ever been there? It's a very famous burger place in St. Louis. And I put more sauces in one, and I like to mix, I like
you did
mix.
A suicide. Oh, geez.
That's how I would have died.
Well,
it was sriracha mayo, honey mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup,
the
mustard,
coroner's report
Taylor Hawkins
just
fingernails. Everything was in there.
Was there any substances in his body when he passed? We found up to 12 sauces, including the Polynesian mustard that was from Chick-fil-A, and he was eating at
he actually died because he choked
Chipotle,
on the plastic.
so we don't know how. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I was using.
You're gonna have. They said they find plastic now in our blood, like plastic particles.
Like a whale.
You probably have a fucking like a shark. When they cut open a shark, you're gonna have a not a license plate, but the license plate border that's plastic.
There's going to be unopened Polynesian sauces in
Starbucks cups.
Oh, that's where they all went. That is so fun. A fishing net, a tea, just random shit.
I mean, there have got to be things inside you that haven't made their way out yet. You've had to have swallowed
I have a
plastic.
fingernail baby in me.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Just a little ball of fingernails.
No, not a little. I'm talking a full-on grown adult.
Yeah.
I'm preserving.
I'm sure those make it their way through. That's probably what caused your fissures. Those nails slicing you on the way out.
Wait, because you chew your nails?
He bites his nails.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
you
I swallow
them or you spit them out? You swallow?
It depends.
Yeah.
Depends on if I smoke a little weed.
Depends on if it has sauce underneath it, like crusted on it, a little dollop. All right, let's get to Monday's segment, Top One, Bottom One, where we pick the top one and the bottom thing of a certain category. Today's category is modeled after what happened last night at the Oscars. Noah, what is it?
So it's the best and worst, or like the top one, bottom one take of the Chris Rock, Will Smith slap heard around the world.
Yes, that is, I love that. We initially said tweets, but we're going to do takes. Let's start with the best. I'm going to share mine first. This is from Chris Stefano, one of the funniest comics ever. If you don't follow him, he's Chris D Comedy on Twitter and I think on Instagram, Chris D Comedy. And he's just one of the funniest guys ever. And this is his take. 1 second.
Is this his Anxiety Tuesday?
Yes, he does Anxiety Tuesdays, but they're never on Tuesday and they're just him talking really fast and it's hilarious. And this is truly all that needs to be said about what happened.
I am 100% on Chris Rock's side. I mean, really, you're going to slap a guy over a freaking G.I. Jane joke? I don't care what happened in your life before this, or he's been making fun of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship for a long time. It's like, yeah, because it's toxic. You can obviously see it's toxic. I mean, she publicly says she cheats on you all the time, and Will Smith's obviously in the closet gay, which is fine. Just come out, be free, be open, be gay, be happy. I mean, it's literally the most toxic relationship I've ever seen in my life, and that's coming from me. So I'm telling you, I mean, the fact of the matter is this, is the narcissism in the Oscars is disgusting. Why we are still glorifying actors and actresses is beyond me. I mean, dude, 100 years ago, people would honor kill themselves and their families if their kids came out and said they were actors. I mean, it's scum shit. You're making believe you're someone else that's supposed to give you $1 million. Fuck you. I mean, what are you talking about? I hate it all. I do have an audition later, so fingers crossed I get it.
I love he's just driving on 95 too while doing that.
He's the fucking best. And I just want to say a couple things about that. Yeah, I mean, I had a bunch of tweets last night. I actually got called I woke up this morning like really famished and like I think I got like Legionnaire's disease at my hotel this weekend. So I was like, you wake up like coughing violently. And I look at my phone, it's 6 a.m. and Baba Booey, Gary Delabate texted me being like, hey, any chance you could call in to Howard today? And we want to talk about the Chris Rock thing. And so Gary calls me.
That's so cool, by the way, you're on the list of comedians that they want to hear to take them. Like,
yeah. It was nice.
Yeah, anyways.
Well, someone said like, I'm not going to say what someone said. It doesn't matter. No, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you after. But guitar shit. And so hand drip. So I gotta be honest though, I was just like, I don't want to do this because last night I was tweeting a lot and there were a lot of people going like, white people, you need to sit this one out. And like, oh, like you just don't want to have a bad take that paints you like as just a Karen, or like making, a lot of people were like, great job making this about you, Nikki. And I'm like, how was I making it about me to compare this to the Weinstein thing? And yes, I did compare it to the Weinstein thing because my point, and I told this on Howard. So I called into Howard. Howard was so sweet. Him and Robin were great. I even said the thing about, a lot of people on Twitter saying white people need to sit this one out. And Robin was like, oh, give me a break. Like she even was like, and that was nice to hear. But I do, when I hear that, when I see that, I go, okay, what's going on here? Like, I need to maybe take a step back because I'm not the one to tell white people that I'm not the one to tell me when I need to sit down. It's going to be someone who's not me. So what I said, though, was that Ashley Hesseltine had just written a tweet that said something like, we just watched an entire room of people just watch someone punch slap someone in the face, sit back down, and now he is on stage and they're giving him a standing ovation. And then I just wrote in quotes, above that, and I said, how did Weinstein get away with it for so long? Because that's everyone's question of like, everyone knew, not everyone's question, but people, whenever something like this comes out, people knew, how did it get away with? We just witnessed A room of people with their own eyes saw it happen. This isn't rumor. This isn't speculation. This isn't like
it literally happened.
Eyewitness reports passed down. This is they all witnessed it. And then no one in that room, I felt, everyone just got on board and were like, it was crazy. It was the most in denial thing. It was, it just shows you the power of celebrity,
money, greed.
If it were switched, if Chris Rock had been the one to punch Will Smith, he would have been pulled out. It's about Will Smith was more famous, and even Andrew this morning goes, "Can you imagine if Bradley Cooper would have punched Chris Rock if the response?" And I said it would have been the same. He would have gotten away with it. Yes, there would have been more of a race thing on the other side of it, but in that moment, in that room, which is what happens immediately following an assault, is what. It's the legal thing, like that. We just saw what happened. They let him get away with it. Producers didn't pull him off set. There wasn't like a Jerry Springer, guy come over.
They fucking put more chalk on his hands.
Bradley Cooper would have been allowed too, because Bradley Cooper's more famous than Chris Rock. Like it becomes about fame, and power and money, and that was so disgusting.
I joke that Chris Rock now has to slap someone less famous than him, and about 15 people I'm going to be getting punched in the face. I'm really
Earlier
excited.
You said 18.
I know.
You're coming up in the ranks. I like that about you. You bring yourself up.
Hey, that was early in the morning. You know me. Soon it'll be 12.
My last.
When would you get slapped?
I just want to take a couple more takes on this.
Go ahead, yeah.
That I just want to say is that also Will Smith is going through a Kanye thing. We have a lot of empathy for Kanye, and I want to have empathy for Will Smith too, because he is not in the right state of mind. To go so quickly from having so much fun and laughing at the very joke that you then punch someone over, and everyone's going, why is that an excuse that he was laughing at first? You can take a while to get hurt by something. Just because you are laughing at a joke doesn't mean that it can't hurt you later on. And I get that. I've laughed at things at first that I'm like, oh wait, I didn't want to laugh at that. It was a knee-jerk response. You know when you trip on something and you get embarrassed and you like start yelling, you get really angry? That was what Will did. He got a look from his wife, and I have empathy for Will Smith in that moment. He had anger issues. He is seriously struggling. And then when you watched him get up and give that speech when he won for Best Actor, if you look at it, just a still image from that, and you saw that outside of this context of him winning, you would say that man is very, very upset and sad right now. That was not a joyous moment for him at all. He ruined his own moment. I really feel sad for him, because that was not the reaction of someone that is healthy in the mind. And so I don't like how Hollywood handled it, but I do have empathy for Will Smith in that circumstance, because anger got the best of him, and he is not well. He's not, and it wouldn't surprise me if he goes to therapy later, or to rehab, either today or later this week. Sorry, I just wanted to get my kind of points across.
I'm just like thinking, obviously his relationship has been in the news a lot about her. She, they're in an open relationship.
Yes.
And that was a lot of people's tweet. They're like, "Oh, you're mad about a joke, but not her fucking other people," which I don't think those are connected. Yeah, but I do
it's think it's a good joke. I liked Ian had a joke that was like he lets his wife take a dick, but he can't take a joke or something. Like, I thought it was a good take. My point, though, clearly open relationships are so healthy, and I'm an advocate for open relationships.
Open hand relationship.
That's good.
Thanks.
What was your favorite take?
Just that one.
Just your own.
No, Segura. I just read one. I mean, he went a little edgy.
Love it. Tom Segura.
It just came up on my thing while I was for. He said, "Fuck Will Smith." This is similar to what your point was about empathizing with him. Fuck Will Smith's candy ass smacking a dude 4 inches shorter and 50 pounds lighter. He's just in his feelings because his bald-headed bitch been fucking around on him for years, and he takes it. We all know who he wishes he could slap.
Wow.
Hashtag cuck Will.
Wow. I'm not saying wow in a real way, but I'm impressed by that. Like, I was on edge last night, tweeting because I was so scared that I was going to say something wrong that was going to get me canceled. I told Stern I erased my Weinstein tweet because so many people were going like, were And I go, how am I making this about myself? That's not about, I haven't been raped. I'm not saying that rape and slapping someone is the same thing. Who would ever think that?
Yeah.
It's about ignoring a bad behavior. And Howard, I was really happy, read my tweet today when I was on with him. And he said, I loved this one from Nikki. And this was my take that, and I was like texting with Chris as this was happening. And Chris actually really helped me form a lot of these opinions and was the first to like kind of put them in my head. So I want to give him credit. But I said, tonight's Oscars prove that Hollywood is alive and well, still doing what it does best, protecting and celebrating disgusting behavior. And that really, because there's this whole thing of like, is Hollywood over or movies over? And it's like, no, everything's fine. Like we saw it in live time. Yeah. And it was just.
It just shows me, this is the guy, Will Smith, who, has a, Celebrity got at one point where it's like he has a movie and they're bragging about the trailers they recommend, and he would have an indoor basketball court in his trailer.
I used one of his trailers one time.
What, did they have an indoor basketball court?
No, but it was really nice, and they were like, Will Smith has used this, and it was like, oh, this got the Will Smith.
But I'm just saying, this is a guy.
Will Smith.
I'm not saying that.
I've always liked him.
I'm just saying that this is a guy that hasn't been told no probably in a while.
That joke was so stupid too.
Yeah, I know. G.I.
And guess
Jane.
what? He didn't know she had alopecia. Give me a fucking break. Chris Rock isn't gonna make a joke about someone. People are so stupid if they think comedians purposely take something that is like a really sensitive issue and make a joke of it. He didn't know. He thought Jada Pinkett Smith has always had really short hair, and that's what he was making a joke about. And Will Smith could have handled this in any other way. Slapping someone, that is not an appropriate response. You only resort to violence when you are defending yourself from a violent attack as well. That's the only time that it is okay.
And what about the 100 jokes before that? If we show Will Smith's face of him laughing,
I loved Amy's jokes about like all the couples there, Will Smith and Jada, Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal. I thought that was amazing, and you could tell that Jake was a little bit like wanted to, like someone said, like, Jake.
Because this is the Oscars, dude.
But
you don't bring those jokes to the Oscars.
We're not getting to all the best. Okay, Noah, what was your best take?
Oh.
Okay, my best take, real quick, is from someone from Richard Marks. And he goes, hey, professional comedians, be on notice. From now on, you need to make sure your jokes don't offend people, especially extremely attractive, famous, and exorbitantly wealthy people.
Yes.
I thought that was really funny.
Yes. I do think that comedians need to be on alert. I have always been scared on stage. I was in Canada last year, and a man came up to the stage to take pictures, and he looked so scary as he was approaching that I started like running away because I thought he was going to shoot me. So I think that people don't take jokes well, and especially if their wife is offended on their behalf, they know they're going to have to hear about that on the car ride home for the rest of their fucking lives. It's going to turn into this big thing. So they need to, and they don't know how to mitigate, they know they need to do something, and that's where it goes wrong. They have to do something because they're going to hear about it otherwise, and they're going to suffer because of their wife or the person that they're with is offended. And that's where you need to have a plan when you go to a comedy show. If something happens that offends you or the person you're with, have a plan that isn't violence. Just have one in the back of your head, because you're going to want to do something. And violence is sometimes the easiest thing for a person, unless you think it through already. I have been offended at comedy shows, and I leave. I leave surreptitiously so that it's not like, oh, I'm mad, but I just leave.
I do slap the valet in the face.
And then I make fun of them behind their back, and I tweet about it later or something. Like that's what you do.
Stavros had a pretty funny tweet. He goes, I think the most important takeaway here is that comedians are in danger. If Will Smith can slap Chris Rock at the Oscars, what is stopping a beloved millionaire whose brain has been scrambled by getting very publicly cucked from hitting me at a comedy club in a strip club?
Yeah.
Or a strip mall.
Yeah. I mean, I have had.
Like, what is going to happen? Are people going to fucking
people are
feel
saying
like they can come
that
up?
It's going to happen. And then some people are going, oh, yeah, comedians are now scared. Mark my words. I said it today on Chris's radio show. I called into that. When school shootings did not start happening until Columbine. This is the Columbine thing I've been waiting to tell you guys. It's not. But like, school shootings were not the way they are now. It got so much press that became the thing that people do. It showed kids that there's a thing to do. And copycatting. We all know this happens. This is about to start happening in clubs. Comedy clubs need to get more security. I'm going to have more security at my own shows from now on. And I am going to pull back a little bit because I don't want to get punched.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm scared of my face skin being stretched.
If you...
Honestly.
If Nikki
I saw that
says
still
something,
of Chris Rock's face being stretched. It looked like he was skydiving.
If Nikki says something that offends you, you come backstage and you slap me.
Yes.
Okay?
I'm going to start bringing a person to slap with me on the road so that they can just get hit. Instead of an interpreter for sign language, which is what I should have learned from last night, is that I should have that on the stage with me all the time. I'm going to just have a guy that you come up and slap. We got to get to final thought. Let's get into our worst takes because I have one that I thought was so stupid. There's a lot of worst takes going around. I asked actually my followers to send some, but Page 6, the gossip magazine, tweeted this morning, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's secret to 20 plus years of marriage. And there's a cute picture of them snuggling. They're fucking trolling. They know what they're doing. It says Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's secret to 20 plus years of marriage. Also, his son's tweet of this is how we do it or something like that. Jaden's tweet was also a stupid take. Very cuh. Anyone else got a bad take? I'm gonna look at
I have mine.
Okay, yeah, Noah, what's yours?
All right, so basically, like any take like this, Andrew kind of already mentioned it. I'm not gonna read who this is because it's just someone who went viral. Chris Rock is lucky all the other dudes banging Jada didn't rush the stage.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
No, I don't know.
I almost retweeted that one. I thought it was, I mean, obviously that's not true, but like, it was just a funny take of saying like, okay, they're in an open relationship. If everyone that is like, don't talk about my woman like that, had that response.
Yeah.
But I get, why to you was that a bad take?
I just don't like that their relationship and their choices was brought into it when it's clearly an anger management issue.
Right.
That's it.
As someone who's been to anger management, you see this as a clear anger management issue.
100%. 100%. And then the whole crying and stuff. I mean, I think it's just like, it must have all like hit him and stuff. But usually when people get so angry and they get so out of control. And then I think crying is like a mechanism for them to get the person who they hurt back on their side. So
yeah, everyone was talking about how he was gaslighting us afterwards, saying like, love made me do it, and then Denzel had told me don't let the devil get you or whatever, and it's like
so Chris Rock's
the devil. I just want to say also there was someone sent me a link to all the worst takes. Someone said I'd say Will Smith hits like a girl, but I'm no biologist. That was from Tim Young. What an idiot. Yeah, all the bad takes are saying it's comparing it to Trump. It's comparing it to, but I think that there's something here to be gleaned of like power makes us turn the other way.
Yeah, I wrote a thing on Instagram just mostly about how Chris Rock is going to turn this into making $35 million on Netflix.
Yes,
and then
absolutely.
I wrote like, I just was thinking of a pun of like what his special would be named, and I didn't see this anywhere. And I wrote Fresh Prince on my face of Bel Air.
Oh, yes. Fresh Prince. Yeah.
Like Prince, like handprint.
I saw that a lot.
But I swear.
Of course you didn't copy that.
Someone, this is where I'm.
Someone just sent me a bad tweet and they said, what did the police find when they dusted Chris Rock's face? Fresh Prince.
Oh my God. So I feel bad that it's not the perfect pun, but I was just trying to think of a pun. Someone called me out for stealing, right, in my comments. And then when I explained how I wouldn't have stolen this, right? And then they go, wow, how can you come at me? We got to stop this thing of like, if you comment on someone else's page and they respond to you, you can't then play the victim of being like, but you're a public figure. Like, you can't do that shit. And I'm sure it's happened with you where like people think they could just comment into the ether that you're not reading this.
Yes.
And then if you write back, then they go, oh, but
you're so sensitive.
Turn it on
I was
you,
just joking.
Or like, yeah, how can you come at me like that?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, motherfucker, you started it.
People who it
just blows my mind.
I've
But
been that
anyhow,
person before who's come after someone, and then when they write back, I'm like, oh shit, they saw it. So I get that mentality but we see. We don't have that many followers. This was a good one sent in from Facebook by one of my followers. Someone said, "Who do you think woke up with the worst headache this morning? Chris Rock or me after 17 glasses of airport wine?"
Oh, Jesus Christ. Rosebud did say that, Rosebud Baker, that we're all being dramatic, thinking we'll now be hit on stage.
That is great. But I will say that
I still think I get what she's saying. Yes, comics can definitely be dramatic in these things and point it at ourselves. But people are dumb.
yes.
People are fucking dumb, and they see that, and they'll fucking copycat that shit.
I've had people very angry at my shows, heckling me in
Someone
ways
brought
that
a
were
gun.
What?
Oh.
To my show? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, we don't really talk about that, but I'm glad Andrew
And you know
brought it
why?
up right
Because
before
of Columbine.
Yes. Oh, we'll talk about that later on the next show. Stay with us this week. We have shows all week. I'll be in New York for some of them, but tomorrow we'll be back here in St. Louis.
And you're on tour.
And what?
And you're on tour.
And I'm on
and
tour.
Andrew.
Oh my gosh, don't forget I'm on tour very soon. Winnipeg, the murder capital of Canada, Vancouver, Austin, Irving, Texas, Houston,
New Orleans,
Philadelphia, or not Philadelphia, I'm sorry. Where else?
Florida.
Oh, New Orleans,
Fort Lauderdale,
Jacksonville,
and Nashville.
Tampa.
I
I always feel like, can we do that though with Howard Dean's voice?
Oh, yeah!
We're going improv. We're going Irving. We're going Houston. We're going Minneapolis. We're going to Winnipeg. We're going to
All right, guys. Yes. If you don't know that reference, you are in your 20s. And go Google Howard Dean and why he lost the election. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. We'll see you later. Dombika and
Jacked up Chris Rock's face.
Oh, God. Okay. Thank God.